Hi, I'm Jacob with National Fleet Products, and today I will be demonstrating the install process of a WM Systems Non-Swivel loading ramp in the Dodge RAM ProMaster. This video will apply to all versions of the ProMaster, encompassing all wheelbase lengths and roof heights. Today's video is the first in a three-part series. This video will cover the installation of the mounting hardware into the Dodge RAM ProMaster. The second video will cover the attachment of the ramp to the mounting hardware and the necessary adjustments. The third video will cover the ramp operation, as well as we'll take some measurements of the space that the ramp and the mounting hardware occupy inside the vehicle. The hardware we're demonstrating today is part of our new NoDrill hardware. It's awesome. With this design, no drilling into the vehicle's body is required. There are only going to be a few tools needed to complete the installation. First, you'll want to be sure to have an impact wrench and a variety of attachments. I'm going to want to have you keep a T40 Torx handy. We're going to want to have a 3/16 Allen, a 4mm Allen, and a 9/16 socket wrench. Using just these simple tools alone, we're going to complete the installation of the mounting hardware in about 5 to 10 minutes. Now let's talk about prepping the cargo area for installation. First, you're going to want to evaluate your flooring. If your vehicle has a bare metal floor, there's no concerns or alterations needed. Please proceed ahead. However, if you were supplied a rubber mat, maybe from the factory, what you can do is install the plate and tuck the rubber mat underneath the plate. If you happen to have any sound deadening insulation beneath that rubber, we would ask you to peel that back before tucking the rubber underneath the plate to try to minimize the lift that you're going to have underneath the mounting hardware. Alternatively, you may have a wood floor that's been supplied. In that case, I'd ask you to follow along, assemble the hardware in place. You're going to want to mark the leading edge and then take a saw and cut that portion of the floor back. Install your hardware so that the hardware meets the wood that you've cut and you have a nice seamless transition point. Now we're ready to begin the installation of the mounting hardware. The first step is going to be to take that T40 socket. You're going to want to remove these two factory supplied bolts from both of the rear threshold locations. These bolts can be discarded. We have supplied longer bolts to be used in their place. At this point, we're going to take our pieces of hardware and start setting them into the body. And you'll notice this larger piece here is set up really nicely to go on the driver's side. Our smaller section here will go on the passenger side. And you're going to take your large center infill plate. It only goes in one way, so I want to point out immediately that where you'd remove those bolts with a T40 Torx before, you have holes supplied here to make sure it all lines up, not put it in backwards. Go ahead and just place this in the spot here. And we're going to assemble that in place. So I want to have you take your 3/16 Allen key, and you have 6 of these small countersunk bolts, and we'll use 3 on each side here for assembly. Now that our hardware has been assembled, what we're going to do is use the 2 provided button head 6mm bolts and your 4mm Allen key. And we're going to fasten this plate. These are going to go where you'd used your T40 Torx before. You're going to put one of these bolts in each of these locations. And we're going to get these started, but not tightened down very tight. I still want to have this plate loose. This is just going to center it and make sure we're in the right position for our next steps. Our next step is going to be to take the supplied carriage bolts. You were supplied 4 sets of bolts, washers, and nylock nuts. 2 of each are going to be used on each side. And you're going to want to start over here. We're going to take the carriage bolt itself. This is going to be slipped into the body cavity. And you'll notice it lines up really nice here with these vertical slotted holes. Get that carriage bolt in, put on a washer, and thread on your nylock nut. You want to do both the upper and the lower. And proceed with the driver's side. And now we can take our impact wrench with our 9/16 socket. Go ahead and place your hand into that body cavity and put some positive pressure on that carriage bolt. That'll get it centered into the factory supplied hole in the body, keep it from spinning. Take your impact and go ahead and tighten these down. Our next step is going to be to return to that 4mm Allen key. And we're going to want to revisit these two center bolts that we put in and go ahead and tighten these up. And what I'd like to tell you is this is not particularly structural. What this is doing is keeping the belly of the plate from lifting. So when you're tightening these down, you just got to get them tight. Don't hammer home on them. Congratulations! You have just completed the mounting hardware installation in the Dodge RAM ProMaster. Please follow along to the next video where we will cover the attachment of the loading ramp and the necessary adjustments. At this point, I'd like to remind you that I am Jacob with National Fleet Products. We are here to help as questions might come up. Please give us a call to discuss your unique loading needs. Our number is going to be 763-762-3451. Thanks for watching.